Now, this guy's a little odd, but he had a public access show that researched a lot of things we've had encounters with. Take a look.
To the Philistines, he is known as Beelzebub. In Hebrew, his name is Samael, the angel of death. Christians have yet another name for him, Lucifer. But whichever name he goes by, one thing is certain. He is the devil. Most would agree that the devil, or Satan as we'll call him, is to be feared and avoided. But surprisingly, there are those who choose to worship this deity. Why? And why are there so many differing myths surrounding this fallen angel? Tonight, come with us on a terrifying journey as we try to answer these questions and more. Come with us on the quest for Satan. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to tonight's show. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Rule. And tonight we are in quest of Satan. Yes, I said Satan. I guarantee that this will be both very entertaining and very disturbing. Now, if you say that he has red horns and carries a pitchfork, you're probably wrong, because biblical experts assure us that if Satan does indeed walk the earth today, he is very persuasive and very attractive, not a horrible-looking individual. After all, he's known as the angel of light, is he not? But first, we sent a camera crew to New York City, where you will witness a female Satanist carrying out a ritual with her colleagues. Roll tape.
We gather together in service to our Lord Satan, God of freedom, God of this world, God of our flesh, God of our innermost will, and God who beckons us beyond the comfortable and familiar. Hail, Satan.
Hail, Azazel.
What you are seeing is a real satanic ritual. The ritual refers to 5 rising gods: Lilith, Prometheus, Ishtar, Pan, and Lucifer of Sophia. The devotees are called warriors. The leader of this group, who requested to have her identity hidden, explains more about the practices of theistic Satanists.
Yeah, well, there's different kinds of Satanists. Theistic Satanists are those who believe in Satan as a deity of some kind. Symbolic Satanists are those who do not believe in Satan as a deity, but see Satan as a symbol of independence, creativity, whatever. We revere Satan as an actual being. Now, among theistic Satanists, there's quite a wide variation in theology. Most theistic Satanists do not simply accept Christian theology except for just siding with the other guy. I mean, that belief system does exist, but most theistic Satanists have some other theology, such as a polytheistic theology or pantheistic.
And as warriors of Pan,
God of the wild, God of fleshly delights.
If you're going to be on the cutting edge, expand your box, you have to look at things critically and take a risk. And Satanism, to me, is taking that risk and gaining from it. Whereas the other Christians or other practitioners may stay in their little box, which is safe, and not expand their reality.
The popular perception of Satanism is based on Christian propaganda, plus tabloid sensationalism, plus Hammer horror films. We do not endorse killing anyone in the name of any religion or God.
As a Satanist, I try to make it pretty clear to people that I'm not, a criminal sadist. If consenting adults choose to, have a fun ritual where they're going around naked and, drawing blood in non-harmful amounts, hey, that's their choice as consenting adults. But we are not going to harm any living being in the name of our religion. That's not what we're about. My morality is based on reason. It's not based on, God told me to this, or for that matter, Satan told me to do this. It's not about that. I believe a big part of Satanism is thinking for yourself. That means that you reason out what's going to be the best moral course of action, what's going to be the course of action that, helps the most or harms the least. and then you follow that.
What's interesting in the Jewish faith is that Satan is the carrier of the wrath of God. He's the accuser, and he goes down, essentially accuses the person of whatever sin he had committed, and then he carries out the wrath of God in Jewish faith. However, in Christian faith, he's some run-amok angel who is just out to get everybody, pull you away from the faith, tempt you so you can go to hell, lose your soul for eternity. But it was never that way in the beginning.
Christians don't really believe in turning out the other cheek themselves. Certainly, some of the biggest proponents for the death penalty in America, Christians. Some of the biggest proponents for, completely ignoring the rule of law when it comes to the treatment of, enemy soldiers in the so-called war on terror, Christians. So, this idea that these guys are somehow, the good, saintly ones, come on.
The fastest growing religious trend in today's world is the emergence of theocratic forms of Christianity. That is growing like wildfire these days. We do see that as an extremely dangerous trend, and it is something that we actually do pay attention to and try to raise awareness about. May we stand firm against the tyranny of your enemies, as together we approach with reverence the infernal mystery. Hail Satan, hail Azazel.
About 2 hours north of Manhattan, in the peaceful town of Poughkeepsie, New York, lives Anton Skolopendra. He is known by some as a gifted artist, designer, and sculptor. By others, he is Reverend Netherworld, member of the Church of Satan.
Christian devil is a fairy tale. The basic idea of the Church of Satan is it's a religion on some levels, but more or less we look at it, it's a philosophy, it's a way of life. Religion connotates a belief, and this requires no belief. We're not praying to some deity. To talk about the difference between Satanism and theistic devil worship is a gulf, there's a universe between the two of them. But very simply, theistic devil worshippers believe in the devil, which means they have to believe in the Catholic Bible. They have to believe they're voting for the loser, because we already know how that goes. So there's just layers and layers of belief. But we don't believe in any deities. We worship nothing. There is no devil, there is no God, there is nothing, because it's not been proven. And to believe in it is to waste your life.
The Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco, California in 1966 by Anton LaVey, and was the first organized church whose philosophy championed Satan.
The history of Anton LaVey, or the founder of the Church of Satan and the creator of Satanism as we know it, had a very amazing life, very self-fulfilled, and all along, was an atheist and believed in the power of himself as a man, and made himself a man, and a unique figure in all of the world. And then, codifying all these things, and through some friends who suggested that he did, in 1966, he wrote the Satanic Bible, created Satanism, created the Church of Satan, and inaugurated it on Walpurgisnacht in 1966, and there it stands. It's a self-created philosophy. I don't believe that there's a Satan or a devil or a God or a Krishna, a Vishnu, a Muhammad. They're all manufactured by man. They're man's need to project and create a master, or to have something bigger, a guideline. To me, the term Satan stands for, or represents, the ultimate rebel. The rebel angel, of course, that's what Christianity dubs him as, but also in society, if you call yourself a Satanist, you automatically make yourself completely extradited from 99% of what society deems acceptable. And that puts you on that razor's edge of you have to make yourself stand up and be seen. When you get down to the few incidents and cases of people that are doing some sort of half-assed ritual sacrifice, some sort of, harming other people, it's usually, what's the best way to put this? Ignorant people that have watched too much television, that have cobbled together a bunch of bits and pieces. I mean, they ever applied any logic to a situation and realized, why would the devil care? Why would the devil care if you killed the chicken? Here, I made you this. I baked you a cake. There's a cat in it, and they should be all rounded up and put in a loony bin or a jail cell.
Thank goodness. Now, when we return, we'll be interviewing a very special guest, so please stay tuned. Don't go away. Now it's time to open up the little black bag and see what's inside. Here's a letter from one of our viewers. Let me open it up. Dear Dr. Rule, what is the sigil of Baphomet? Okay, first of all, sigil, which is spelled, for those of you taking notes, S-I-G-I-L, is a mysterious seal or symbol. And the sigil of Baphomet was adopted by the Church of Satan as its official insignia, seen here. Now you'll note that, first of all, it's a pentagram. It has 5 points, and each point is a Hebraic symbol. Reading from the bottommost in counterclockwise fashion, it spells out the word Leviathan. Yes, Leviathan, the sea creature. And in Judeo-Christian tradition, Leviathan is associated with Satan. The other key aspect is the centerpiece, a goat's face. In ancient Egypt, the goat was a symbol of the god of lust, so this can be viewed also as a symbol of carnality. So for your consideration, the sigil of Baphomet. Now let's see what else is in here. Another letter. Let me open it up. Dear Dr. Rule, I think my wife is the devil. How do I get away from her? Signed, Anonymous. Well, to help you in your quest to save your life, we're enlisting the services of a well-known pastor. His name, Art Hoppe. Take it away, Art.
The need to have an adversary. I mean, great generals, great politicians will tell you, if you create a satanic image, whether it's the Democrats versus the Republicans, or Republicans versus Democrats, or the fascists versus the neo-Nazis, whatever it is, it's us versus them. It is a great and powerful way to kind of coagulate the masses. The whole world of Satanism, there's 2 components. Both groups are very, very, very small. They're just sensationalistic to talk about. Because again, the enemy's objective is that if we can get to talk about him and Satanism, we're going to miss the other 98% of his activities, which has to do with greed, which has to do with objectifying women, it has to do with abusing children, it has to do with one nation attacking another nation for their natural resources, it has to do with politicians who are public servants that are literally building and sustaining their kingdom for a 40-year career in the Senate. It has to do with all of that kind of stuff where he is spending most of his time. There's this little pittance going on the side, which is Satanism, that we want to talk about, Satan versus God. But his activities and his virility in society is spent with the subtlety of lying, deceiving, and impersonating God. Satan is furious, he's angry, he's jealous of man. He doesn't want to harm you, he wants to destroy you. He doesn't want to hurt your children, he wants to take their life. So here's his MO. His modus operandi is that using the carnal nature, which we all have, that inclination, when I wake up in the morning, I'm inclined to want to live my life my way. That ambition is what we share in our human nature. So when someone says the devil made me do it, it really didn't happen that way. The devil's really not interested, or you and me. He's a system hierarch. He is over the entire system, and he's pulling strings. He has his demons that are working, but the attitude where the individual wakes up in the morning, each of us have woke up this morning, whether we realized it or not, we woke up to a war. It's just invisible. At the end times, there'll be an acceleration of evil. Revelation says, because Satan has but a short time, therefore he comes out with great wrath and fury. So towards the end of times, things are going to get darker. Things are going to get more hairy. There's going to be more death and destruction. There's going to be more darkness and more people acting out satanic values, I would say. Whether they're possessed or not is a whole other question, but they're values of those things. And we see that always right now in pockets. Just watch the news. All of those things, those pockets of evil, are going to continue to happen. And at some point in time, it's going to accelerate. Whether we're in that uptick in the bell curve right now, I think we are. But I have to also remember that my previous generations thought they were too. Regardless, Satan's activity has been constant. It will accelerate towards the end. And it will, by definition, mostly be under the radar.
Another intriguing perspective on Satan. Excellent. Now, I don't know if any of this will help our viewer who's worried about his wife being Satan, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that, in fact, she's not the devil and he'll be safe. Good luck on that. Now, until next time, may the power of the cosmos be with you.